Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Rosie's channel. And today I want to discuss what is a major issue right now going on in Nigeria and the United States involvement. It's been reported that on Christmas Day, America struck Nigeria as it had promised, as Trump had said, quote, he will come guns a-blazing. And a lot of Nigerians are rejoicing over this because there has been a lot of insecurity, a lot of unalivings of Christians in Nigeria with no help from the government, with no support, with no concern. And so a lot of them are rejoicing over this. I have mixed feelings about this. In fact, the first video I really wanted to do was really questioning this. But this following video that I'm about to play to you really makes me wonder. It really gives me pause and has me thinking. Please listen and I'll come back for my commentary.
They are going nowhere. They are part of us and we are part of them. We must live with them. You can't drive them away and they can't drive us away. They are our neighbors, so we should never allow them to be our enemies. And if by any mistakes, by our actions, we have turned them into enemies, then we are finished. Because our real enemy will use them against us. As your real enemy will use your neighbor against you, and nobody knows your secret more than your neighbor. He knows when you come back and when you go out. So we should never allow herdsmen to be our enemies.
Now listen to that statement. He said the herdsmen are going nowhere. Now for those who don't know, let me give you a little tiny history. The herdsmen in Nigeria tend to be men who rear cattle. And in Nigeria, it's very nomadic, meaning they move around. That's how they feed. Like in America, there is a pasture, a ranch where they feed. But in Nigeria, the culture has been, the practice has been one of where they are very nomadic. They move their cows to wherever they can eat grass to feed them. And now they've started encroaching on people's lands and on people's farmlands, and it has led to a lot of unalivings. They have scared a lot of people away. And this man is telling people boldly to their faces that they won't make enemies. He's saying they won't go anywhere, that we must live with them. So it's almost like, is he the head and very responsible and orchestrating all the problems that we are suffering in Nigeria? He's saying it very boldly, unconcerned to all the damage and pain that it's causing the people and all the insecurity. He has made statements telling Bola Ahmed Tinubu that he needs to tell the U.S. government to back off. The interesting thing is, there have been no statements by the president of Nigeria. I have not heard any statement being made by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Instead, we're getting statements from him. And there are recordings of him saying that if this is not addressed, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency will come into question. Why are we not hearing from the president? Why are we hearing from him? So who is really running the affairs of what is going on in Nigeria? That's number one. And number two, if this man can boldly state that the people who are causing destruction to Nigerians, to Christians, should still stay, it really makes me say, you know what? I welcome Trump. Because regardless of whatever we think, there's so many things about their ulterior motives. I don't doubt that, which is why I have mixed feelings. But at the same time, people who feel threatened and people who feel unsafe, they want help wherever they can get it, whoever will give it to them. They're too afraid to act. They don't have weapons. In some cases, when they do fight back, they are persecuted and unalived by the same governments that offer them no protection. So, what else are they to do? So, when I think about this, I welcome Trump and what he's done. Yes, I do. Even though I still have my questions about him, I have no doubt about that. But desperate people need action, not talk, not rhetoric, action, and that action was given to them. But again, who is running the affairs of Nigeria? I also want you to listen to this. And this is another thing that causes me to question what is going on.
Nobody's talking about this. This man was arrested in 2010 in Mecca, held for over 6 months, not by mistake, but by request of the United States. Why? Because they found emails between him and a Nigerian man named Ume Farouk, the same guy who tried to detonate explosive on a flight to USA on Christmas Day 2009. That flight had 289 people, but the device didn't explode. It just burst into flames on his body. He was caught instantly, and today he's serving multiple life sentences in the US, no parole. The man he was emailing, Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, yes, the same Gumi who later became Nigeria's most famous bandit negotiator. Saudi Arabia held him for months, but the Nigerian government stepped in and he was released. Gumi said it was all a plan to ruin his name. Now, in 2025, Saudi Arabia has kicked him out again. Even though he had a valid visa, they banned him from Hajj. Why? Because of his political views. They said they are not comfortable with his presence, so he was deported. But when he landed in Nigeria, he was welcomed like a king. Let's not forget, the UK and the US don't just accuse people for vibes. That email link to Farouk was properly investigated, but Nigeria said case closed, free the man, and ever since then Gumi has been the middleman for bandits, asking government not to call them terrorists. So now the question is, if Saudi Arabia doesn't want him and the US once flagged him, why is it still the one Nigeria listening to when people are taken by force?
So you see that this man has been a problem for quite a while. Unwelcome by the US, unwelcome by the Saudis. And being that he is this way, why was he even released? But he is welcomed by Nigerians. So it raises a lot of questions. It raises a lot of questions. And I do remember that case very well. In fact, if the memory serves me correctly, he was going aboard a plane. He had himself strapped with this ammunition aboard a plane that was coming from Texas. And I think it was the father who found out that he had joined this extremist group and even called the authorities. He was trying to save the son's life. So again, why is the mastermind not welcome anywhere else, but welcome in Nigeria? It starts to make you question what is really going on. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, nowhere to be found. This one got all the mouth to talk. And we can only get help and security from a foreigner? Can someone tell me what's going on and who is actually running that country? I'd like to have your comments.